President of the Overseas Press Club of America, and this building is our headquarters, the gathering place of the top foreign correspondents of our time who cover every corner of the globe in their search to bring the truth to you. From their personal files, we tell the stories behind the headlines. What you're about to see really happened, and the people portrayed really lived. Here's a story told by Frank Riley, well-known foreign correspondent and author.
France, from 1914 to 1918, locked in a desperate struggle for existence, was fortunate to have found great men to lead her. On the battlefield, such men as General Joffre and Marshal Foch. And in the air above it, Captain René Fonck, the ace of aces, who still holds the world's record for planes destroyed in aerial combat. The Kaiser offered a reward of $25,000 to the German flyer who shot him down. 4 German aces, agreeing to divide the reward, ganged up on him. Fonck killed the 4 of them in 20 minutes and plunged the whole German nation in the mourning. But unlike many other war heroes, peace did not bring him honored oblivion. For the next 20 years, Colonel Fonck, holder of the Croix de Guerre with 28 palms, stayed in the public eye. With the result that the Second World War found him holding a high position in the French Air Ministry. But early in 1944, René Fonck disappeared. How can a man whose face has been front-page news for 25 years disappear? René Fonck had been one of my heroes when I was a kid, and his disappearance intrigued me so much that after the war, I traveled over 3,500 miles to see if I could find the story behind the missing headline. The trail led me to a small village near the Franco-Belgian frontier, where a former mechanic of René Fonck's kept an inn, the Inn of the Silver Wings. And here, as so often happens to newspaper men, I ran into another story.
Yes, monsieur, what do you wish?
I'd like to meet the proprietor, Monsieur Gaston Bonnet.
Unfortunately, monsieur, that is not possible.
My name is Frank Riley. I'm with the New York Times.
James Cross. How do you do?
How do you do?
I'm a friend of the family.
What was it you wished to ask my husband, monsieur?
And I understand he knew René Fonck, the famous airman.
Yes, my husband was an airman, too. He was always very proud of having served with Colonel Fonck. Why is monsieur so interested in him?
Oh, I guess I just don't like unfinished stories. Besides, he was always one of my heroes.
That makes 2 of us.
Really? I didn't think any of your generation still remembered it.
Oh, yes. When I was 12 years old, I once hitchhiked 35 miles from London to Surrey, where he was appearing, just to get his autograph. I never even saw him. The crowd was too big. The police took me home, and my father gave me the biggest licking of my life.
Did you ever meet him?
No, unfortunately. But when I was old enough, I joined the Air Force, thanks to him.
Oh, so you're a pilot, too?
Monsieur Cross had the good fortune to be shot down near here during the war.
The good fortune?
Yes, I was lucky. I fell among friends.
Oh, you're staying here?
Monsieur Cross is always welcome.
Thank you. No, I'm visiting a monastery near here, Notre Dame des Forges at Chimay.
And that's a Trappist monastery, isn't it? Let's see now. Those are the monks who aren't allowed to talk.
Yes, that's right. They take the vow of perpetual silence.
But don't they ever speak?
Never to one another, except in sign language, and only to God in prayer and chant. Or to their abbot on bended knees in cases of special emergency.
You seem to know a lot about these people.
I should. I owe my life to them.
Maybe I found a story after all. How did it happen?
Well, it was in October 1944. I was a flight sergeant flying a Spitfire. I was jumped by a Messerschmitt. The sun was right down on the horizon, shining in my eyes. He came out of it, and I never even saw him. We were fighting right over the monastery of Notre Dame des Forges at Chimay. Inside, Brother Joachim, one of the lay brothers, was tolling the bell for the beginning of the Great Silence. which lasts from sunset to sunrise, when not even the abbot may speak except in the greatest emergency. Drop in on you like this, Father. Incidentally, where am I? Oh, ribs. On the left side, it feels as if I've got half the instrument panel in there. Thanks. That was good. Look, you'd better get me out of here. There's bound to be a search when they don't find my body in the plane. Besides, I've got to get back to base. It's all right, Father. I can look after myself.
We are looking for a British pilot who was shot down outside your monastery. Is he here? Oh, I forget. You are not allowed to speak. Come on. Open up. Open up. Hitler. We have reason to believe that a British pilot has taken refuge here. You realize the penalties for hiding him? Is he here? Perhaps you are permitted to tell me. In that case, we shall have to search the monastery. My men have found this in the incinerator. Parachute material. Or do Trappist monks wear silken underwear? Judging by the ash, which is still warm, you seem to have been burning a lot of rubbish in the last few hours. Do the rules of your order permit so much waste? I am growing impatient of this farce. We're fighting a war. A war for the existence of the Third Reich. I demand that you answer my questions. Rules or no rules. Where's the British pilot? This is total war, Abbe. Where are you hiding the British pilot? You realize the penalty for hiding him is death. And the burning down of your monastery? I know he is here. All right. Line up against this bookcase. You dumb oxen! And we will soon see who can find his tongue. Hurry up! Hurry up! Where's the British pilot? Pilot. Have you heard of aeroplanes? You can tell me. British pilot. I only have to press my finger once. You look young enough to know there is a war on, in spite of your bald head. Well, where is he? Where is he? What's the matter with you? Does a Trappist monk faint at the feel of a gun in his ribs? I must warn you, Abbe. If it is found out that you are concealing an enemy, not a stone of your monastery will be left standing.
Benedicite. Father Abbe, it is permitted by the rules of our order to speak to you on matters of urgency. We cannot turn out a man scarcely able to stand from his injuries. Yet if the Nazis come back, which they always do, they will inflict terrible punishment on the whole monastery if they find him here. Father Abbe, I ask permission to try to take him back to his own lines. Would it be better to risk the life of one poor lay brother than those of the 92 others here? Thank you, Father Abbe. One more request. It will be necessary to release me from my vow of silence until my mission is accomplished.
must have been quite a sight. 2 Trappist monks riding through the night on a motorcycle. Brother Joachim seemed to know every inch of the countryside like the palm of his hand. We kept to the side roads until we got near the frontier. Then the engine started to miss. Brother Joachim shouted that there was a village a couple of kilometers down the road, and that he thought it was in Allied hands. Just after we reached the main street, the engine finally quit.
The luck of the devil, Hans. The devil takes care of his own. What is that?
Huh? A two-headed monk.
No, they're Siamese monk twins. No, it's a joke. You can't fool us. You're from the Panther Brigade, aren't you? Come on, admit it.
Whoever they are, they deserve a drink.
Yeah,
let's fill them up.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Monks playing piggyback.
Behave yourselves. What is all this? What are Trappist monks doing outside their monastery?
This brother fell from the roof while doing repairs, and he's in great pain. But I'm trying to get him to a hospital.
What are your injuries?
No, his vows do not permit him to break silence. But the Father Abbé has given me permission to speak during this errand of mercy.
So?
Well, his arm is broken and possibly some ribs.
Help him off his back and make him comfortable on that divan there. Landlord!
Filthy Nazis, shouting, always shouting. Why can't they ring the bell like civilized human beings?
They are the master race, but they have to keep shouting now to prove it to themselves. It's good still to be allowed to speak.
Landlord!
What do they want now? Master race or master rats? I'm not cooking again tonight.
Bring some food and a hot drink. What's the matter with you? Haven't you ever seen a Trappist monk before?
God's blessings be on your house, my son.
Get busy, man. Hey, better make it cheese. Trappists don't eat meat. Or fish. Get out of here while I telephone. Come on, move out. Give me security headquarters at Chimay.
Security headquarters, Chimay? Yes? 2 Trappist monks? Very good. Yes. We'll check on it and call you back.
Kishloren. You're honored tonight. Listen to me, landlord. For 3 weeks you've fed us garbage. From now on you'll feed us like monks.
I do not wish to deprive you, Colonel. Won't you share this with us?
No, thank you. It's not the lack of food I complain about. It's the lack of respect. It's funny, but your face is familiar to me.
I have a very good memory for faces, but yours are...
There is a possible explanation for it. When I was a young man, I traveled from Bavaria to Chimay with my uncle and made a retreat at your monastery. But I was led to believe that monks of your order never venture outside their monastery walls.
We have 3 monks there. We have not seen the outside world for over 70 years.
I congratulate them on their lack of knowledge of the world. Unfortunately, it's not the life for me. I am a man of action.
Excuse me, please, Colonel.
Well, what is it?
There is a telephone call for you.
Pardon me, Father. But you know, I often envy you your peace of mind in this chaotic world. Robert Leffert speaking. I have them here now, both of them. An enemy pilot. Well, I had my suspicions. Very good. You leave it to me, I'll deal with them. What are you doing? Get out of my way. So you're in this too? Very stupid people to think you can trick me. You underestimate our intelligence. That's why we shall defeat you in the end. You'll conquer the world. Now open that door. And I'll show you how to deal with people who try to make fools of us.
Father,
What is it?
you must leave at once.
Why?
That telephone call was about you.
Oh, I see. If we are found here, you and your wife will be in great danger. Huh?
No, it's not that. You know we would gladly give our lives for you. But they must not find you. Please go while you can.
Can you stand?
Yes, I think so. It's all clear.
I wish I had your faith, Father.
Pray, my son.
I'm afraid I'm not very good at that.
Neither was I once. But there is always time to learn.
Then you weren't always a monk?
No, my son.
What were you before?
When a man becomes a Trappist, he buries his worldly past. It is a secret shared only by his abbey and God. Now let us pray.
Thanks to Brother Joachim, we finally made it. Right back to my base. It was a miracle how he got me there. I was semi-conscious most of the way.
He sounds like a great man, this monk of yours.
He's the bravest man I've ever known. I've never met anyone like him before or since for sheer nerve and keeping his head in a tight spot.
And he's still there in the monastery?
Yes, he's still there.
And you've never found out any more about him?
No, I haven't.
It's a great story. Even if it's not the one I came to get.
You mean the one about René Fonck?
Yes.
I wish I could help you.
Why does your paper want so much to know about Colonel Fonck, monsieur?
It's not just my paper, madame. The French Air Ministry is desperately trying to find him. His country needs him.
Is that the truth, monsieur, that France has need of Colonel Fonck again?
I give you my word. Why? Do you know where he is?
Yes, monsieur.
Well, where is he? Have you ever met him?
No, I never met him, but my husband did. The monk who saved your life was Colonel Fonck, now known as Brother Joachim.
So I did finally meet him after all. I never knew who he was.
If Colonel Fonck knew that his country needed him, I'm sure he would go back again. A fighter is always a fighter, no matter what uniform he wears.
She was right. A year later, René Fonck was finally persuaded by the French government to leave the monastery and re-enter public life, where, as advisor to the Air Ministry for a second time, he was responsible for the rebuilding of France's airstrength. And when, in 1948, at the Church of the Immaculate Conception in London, James Cross was received into the Catholic faith, Colonel René Fonck knelt beside him as his sponsor.